that you are doing well and staying safe. Today, all you need to do is allow yourself to settle as I read to you. This book is called The Illustrated Guide to Dogs. Very simple and light book. You can just allow your mind to drift. Don't need to hang on to my every word or concentrate on what I'm saying at all. Okay? So this is quite an old book, I think. I found it in my husband's bookshelf, actually. Let me just read what it says on the back. The Illustrated Guide to Dogs is an authoritative handbook containing over 150 breeds of dog from around the world. Included in this volume are all the recognizable breeds, such as the Retriever, Alsatian, Cocker Spaniel, and Rottweiler, as well as many lesser known and exotic breeds like the Mexican hairless dog and the Puli. In this compact guide, you will find a general introductory section which discusses the problems associated with choosing a dog, gives advice on feeding, grooming, breeds of dogs into 6 groups for easy reference and provides basic information on height, weight, coloring, and character traits for each breed depicted. Each description is accompanied by a full color illustration. This clearly written guide will equip you with all the information you require to make an informed choice of a dog. With the 180 lifelike illustrations, this book will delight dog lovers everywhere. This is quite a fitting book for me to be reading right now, because I found myself thinking more and more about introducing a dog into my life lately. I've been checking the local pet finder website on dogs available for adoption. I don't have a specific breed in mind. My husband and I have this idea of adopting not a puppy, not a senior dog, maybe a dog between 4 to 6 years. And yeah, giving it all the love that it deserves. Let's get into the book. I think I'll skip over the introductory chapters. Okay, there's a little bit here about the different types of dogs. Not sure how up to date this is. Let me see if information now. This must have been a book that my husband has held on to or kept since he was a child. So, this book observes the following basic grouping: working dogs. All breeds included in this group have developed from dogs which helped herdsmen with their cattle and sheep thousands of years ago. They can be further divided into mountain dogs and other sheep dogs. Mountain dogs have a strain of mastiff blood in them because they needed to be strong, courageous dogs which would stand up to wolves and bears. In later times, most sheep herding breeds were trained to keep the herds together and prevent them from wandering. They had to be independent and able to act on their own initiative. That is why many sheepdog breeds also became good guard and utility dogs. The next grouping: utility dogs. The ancestry of the breeds included in this group is extremely varied. Common to all is that they were trained in times past to defend property and to fight. Their number, however, also includes breeds that were jacks of all trades. They guarded, helped in hunting, carried burdens, pulled sleds. Next, terriers. The name of this group is derived from the Latin word terra, meaning earth, and indicates that these were originally dogs used to drive or dig badgers and foxes from their lairs. Such work demands independent, sturdy, courageous dogs of small to medium size. Because of their outstanding qualities, terriers were crossed with other breeds, particularly hounds, thereby giving rise to terrier breeds suitable for other work. The next two categories are hounds and gun dogs, retrievers, and spaniels. I don't think I'll read these two because there's just some language that's not very sleep friendly, just a bit violent, so we'll move right over to toy dogs. Toy dogs have one characteristic in common. They are all very small. Many of them look like miniature versions of larger breeds. These dogs can appear very fragile and delicate, but most are surprisingly robust and playful. Many make excellent watchdogs, and some have fairly keen hunting instincts. Most are kept as companion dogs. Let's just see. I think I'll just randomly flip through and read you some descriptions of various dogs. Let's start with the Collie. It's a working dog. The Collie, one of the handsomest breeds of shepherd dogs, originated in the harsh climate of Scotland. The name is derived from a breed of sheep kept in Scotland in the 18th century. These sheep with black face and black legs were called collie sheep, and the dogs that guarded and watched over the grazing flocks became known as collie dogs. Colley. The first pictures of these dogs, which did not have the long, handsome coat of the present-day collies, date from the year 1790. Collie dogs were crossed with Irish setters and with bourgeois, I think it's pronounced, from which they inherited certain features of the skull and the narrow chest, as well as their manner of movement, thereby gradually giving rise to collies as we know them today. As late as the early 19th century, the collie was a relatively unknown breed, and it was not until it appeared at its first shows that it began to gain in favor. Fashion raised this breed to the pinnacle of popularity a number of times, and to this day, the collie continues to be one of the most popular breeds. The collie is an intelligent, trainable, and faithful dog of elegant, dignified appearance, and because of these qualities, it is in great demand as a pet. It is reserved with strangers, has an innate talent for herding and guarding sheep, and its dense, long coat provides good protection in bad weather. Besides the familiar long-haired, rough collie with a full coat, also kept but far less commonly is the short-haired, smooth collie with a harsh and smooth coat lying close to the body. Let's look at a utility dog. Let's see. Shih Tzu. I used to have a Shih Tzu called Bubbles. She was my family dog. She was a princess. The Shih Tzu is probably a Tibetan dog which originated from crossing the Lhasa Apso and the Pekingese. Some authorities also believe the Tibetan Terrier may have figured in its origin. This vagueness is caused primarily by the fact that so-called this name designating merely the external appearance, not a specific breed. The origin of this group of dogs is explained by a legend according to which Buddha was always accompanied by small lions, which, when danger threatened, instantly grew larger and protected their master. Lion dogs may thus have been Pekingese just as well as Shih Tzus or Lhasa Apsos. Unlike other small breeds from this region, the Shih Tzu arrived in Europe at a relatively late date. The first breeding pair was brought to England in 1930, in its native land. The Shih Tzu is kept as a watchdog, but in Europe as well as the USA, where it was not known until 1960, it is kept exclusively as a pet. The Shih Tzu is intelligent, lively, and likable. It is quite self-confident and, in some ways, slightly reminiscent of the dachshund. Okay, let's look for a terrier next. Let's just do Okay, let's just do the Skye Terrier. The Skye Terrier comes from the Isle of Skye, one of the islands of the Inner Hebrides off the northwest coast of Scotland. Its forebears were short, long-haired dogs which have lived on the island since time immemorial. It is said that the these dogs also carry the blood of spaniels, which arrived there from half-wrecked ships of the Spanish Armada. The Skye Terrier was used primarily to hunt foxes, badgers, and otters, but also as a watchdog. Nowadays, mainly because of the long, silky coat prescribed by the standard, it is only rarely used for hunting. Skye Terriers may be of two types, with prick ears or with drop ears. Some countries allow mutual mating of the two types. Others keep their pedigrees separate. In Edinburgh, there stands a stone fountain with a statue of the Skye Terrier, commissioned in 1872 in memory of the most faithful dog in the world, Greyfriars Bobby, who kept a vigil for 14 years at his master's grave until he himself died there. The Skye Terrier is truly undemanding, but definitely a one-person dog. It is often aggressive towards strangers. Next, we have hounds. Let's see. Okay. Let's do toxins since they were mentioned earlier. Toxins are a very old breed of which written mention was made as early as the 9th and 10th centuries. Old German texts call it the Biberhund, but in those days these dogs had ears that were carried erect. Many breeds participated in the development of the present type of dachshund. Scenthounds, pointers, and pinschers, as well as terriers. The result was a short-legged dog suitable for underground work in burrows, particularly good in tracking and following a scent, and in working as a beater slowly and with loud barking. The first was set up in 1879, and since then the toxin has become one of the most widespread breeds. Toxins are of 3 types: smooth haired, long haired, and wire haired, each in 2 different sizes according to weight and possibly also chest measurement, namely standard and miniature. That shows the individual types as well as sizes are judged separately. The short-haired type is considered to be the oldest. The long-haired type perhaps includes certain spaniels in its ancestry, and the wire-haired type was developed by crossing the smooth-haired with terriers, mainly the Dandy Dinmont Terrier. Toxins are very intelligent, independent, resourceful, occasionally self-willed, affectionate, and undemanding. They are very good with children. Okay. Next category is gun dogs. I see a lot of spaniels. Okay, let's do the retriever. So this is the golden retriever and flat-coated retriever. This breed of retriever probably originated in the mid-19th century. The most likely theory of its origin is the one according to which the golden retriever's forebears include Russian, in all probability Caucasian, shepherd dogs. The degree to which other breeds, for example bloodhounds and setters, participated in its development is not precisely known. Be this as it may, the result is an active retriever with great endurance, an excellent nose, and great enthusiasm for water work. It is good with children and is thus often kept as a friendly, attractive household pet. However, it requires plenty of exercise. Its handsome, long, smooth or slightly wavy coat with its dense, waterproof undercoat needs a fair amount of care, daily brushing and combing several times a week. It is popular not only in England, but in many other countries as well. The flat-coated retriever is another retriever with a rather long coat which developed at the same period. It carries traces of the blood of dogs brought to England from Newfoundland and also of setters. It has excellent hunting qualities and has also proved to be an excellent companion dog, being particularly fond of children. Before the First World War, it was one of the most popular dogs in England. Later, however, it was ousted by the Labrador Retriever and a Golden Retriever. Only nowadays is it beginning to regain its popularity. The work of retrievers differs somewhat from that of other hunting dogs. The retriever accompanies the huntsman, follows the scent, and brings in game on command. And the final category is toy dogs. There's the Affenpinscher Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, Chihuahua, Chinese crested dog, and Mexican hairless dog. Japanese Spaniel, King Charles Spaniel, Maltese, okay, let's just go with The origin of this breed is the same as that of the King Charles Spaniel. The Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, however, is a representative of an earlier type. At the 1926 Crufts Show, the most famous dog show in Britain, American participants pointed out that the King Charles Spaniels differed from the type depicted in the paintings of the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries. One of the participants, Roswell Eldridge, even offered £25 to any breeder who would revive the old original type. The British took on this task, and 2 years later saw the setting up of a standard which remains unchanged and valid to the present day. The original type was named the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. The main difference between it and the King Charles Spaniel is in the shape of the head. The Cavalier King Charles Spaniel has a flat forehead and a longer muzzle, with the ridge from the bare of the stop to the tip of the nose measuring about 4 centimeters in length, whereas the King Charles Spaniel has an arched forehead with the dome extending above the eyes and the ridge of the muzzle so shortened that the space between the eyes and the nose forms a hollow just big enough to hold a marble. The Cavalier King Charles Spaniel has the same characteristics as its more highly bred relative, and is affectionate, playful, a good companion, and good with children, bold and extremely attached to its owner. It shows hunting tendencies with a particularly strong liking for feathered game. So that's one dog from each category of this book. Let me see if they have Schnauzer. That was my last family dog. Her name, yes they do. Her name was Girl. She belonged to my grandma, but we took care of her after my grandmother passed away. We loved her very, very much. She passed away maybe 3 years ago now. Okay. One last one. Schnauzers under utility dogs. The origin of the standard Schnauzer is not quite clear, but we do know that there were similar dogs in medieval days, mainly in Württemberg. The present standard Schnauzer type dog was not developed until the beginning of the 20th century, when the Schnauzer Club was founded in 1907. Previously, Schnauzers were used as trustworthy companions of wagoners and as watchdogs. Nowadays, they are popular for their lively but unexcitable disposition, fearlessness, and tirelessness. Because the Schnauzer is not much given to barking unnecessarily, it is also a good dog for city dwellers. Care must be devoted to its coat, which is plucked on various parts of the body according to an established pattern. In southern Bavaria, Salzburg, and in the Tyrol at one time, large, rough-haired dogs were kept to guard pigs and cattle and to defend farms against thieves. They were first exhibited in 1909 in Munich, and in 1923 they received their first official standard. This is a breed of a large dog called the Giant Schnauzer, used nowadays practically only as service dogs. The Giant Schnauzer is self-confident, relatively fierce, and wary of strangers, and is an excellent guard dog. Its vitality and need for plenty of exercise, however, make it a dog that is not suitable for everybody. The late 19th century saw the development of the miniature Schnauzer, bred by crossing smaller offspring of the standard Schnauzer and the Affenpinscher. Although this is a miniature breed, these small dogs are endowed with the same abilities as their larger disposition and simple requirements, the miniature Schnauzer is becoming increasingly popular as a companion dog. Okay. If you love dogs, or if you have a dog, or a favorite breed of dog, let me know in the comments. And if you like these types of videos, perhaps I can read about those particular breeds in another video. There are so many breeds. That's all for today. I hope that you take care, rest well,